How y'all doing out there in YouTube land? This Stiletto and Juno coming at you from the Wild Wild West. And today, we got an unboxing. We got another midway purchase. Hot off the press. Here we go. Doing the unboxing today. It's gonna be one of my favorites. My carbon fiber Demco scales from the Knife Center on my DLC Oz 10 blade. This is the Oz 10 version, one of the first ones. I absolutely love it with the carbon fiber scales. It keeps it nice and light. It's easy to go in and out of my pocket. This one has a smooth finish. Really like it. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's an 80-20.5. That's what this one is. 80-20.5. With the shark split blade and Demco carbon fiber scales. Here we go, some more fun. Another big one. Another big one, people. A Warcraft Tanto. Wait a minute, don't you already have Warcraft Tantos? Didn't we just see a video of yours with the Warcraft Tanto? Yes, but you didn't see a video with this Warcraft Tanto. I just had to get this one, people. Let me see how, so you can read it. I had to get this one too, because I love the other one so much. I had to see what this one was like. Just had to. And here we go. The sheet looks the same. I just want to see what this one was like. The other two are going to still be my house knives. Don't think this one's going to take their place. Oh, that's beautiful. The grinds are so perfect. Oh man, this one's perfect. These are $200 at Midway. This is a 12-inch Warcraft San-Mai. And I like these grips. These grips give me control. They need to have grips like this on the other ones. These are G10 grips. They're scalloped and contoured, and they feel it really. With these, you don't need a the extra grip tape or anything. These grips are perfect. I wonder if they're going to sell more of these grips, because I like to put a set of these grips on my other ones. These grips are perfect. So anybody's making grips, make them like this. But this one's G10. I think it'd be cool to make some micarta ones. I love G10, but I like micarta. I just like the way micarta feels a little bit better. This is the sheath for it. This one's gonna be a collector, people. I'm not gonna use this one probably. I just had to get it because I wanted to compare it to the budget version. And this one is on another level. This is not a budget knife. It doesn't feel like a budget knife at all. This one feels like a high-end fixed blade knife. And this feels like a super strong San-Mai blade. I can see the San-Mai line right here. It runs right along here. And that's where it's VG10, and this is 420J. This is the way you make a real big stainless steel blade. This is the real deal here. Look at the I don't know if you can see the craftsmanship, but the grind lines and everything is so beautiful. I love that hollow ground. I like the satin finish on this one. Flat grind tip. Start with the flat grind tip, go back down the hollow grind. And look at the grind lines. That's one of the things I look at. Always like to see that the grind lines are symmetrical to both sides. Sometimes that's kind of hard to do, you know, if you're grinding, if these are ground by hand. I think a lot of times they're ground by hand. I'm not sure if, they may be machine ground too though, I don't know. But I know sometimes you get some that aren't exactly perfect. This one's perfect. This one's perfect, people. It's a beautiful blade. And these handles, look at that handle. This one's nice. This one's a really, really nice. This is, I'll never see them, I'm selling this one like a budget blade. Probably $200 would probably be the cheapest price you ever see this knife go for. It looks like it's worth more than $200 to me. It looks more like a $300 fixed blade. I probably shouldn't say that because Cold Steel raised the price back up. But this one's a very, very nicely made blade. And you can see that, you can see where the center line is on the blade, where the VG10 is in the center too. This is beautiful. Makes me want another one. I gotta stop doing that. I got too many doubles of things. I don't need all them doubles. But this one feels really, really good in hand. This one feels a lot better than the other one. Let's get the other one. Let's bring out the other ones. These are my other two. I'm gonna set this, oh, this could stay down there, I guess. These are my other two. As you see, I got them set up. I haven't figured it out yet. But I wanna set these up for like if I was gonna dual carry. I think I'm gonna put them on my bug out bag that I plan on getting. And somehow set them up in the bug out bag so they could be behind my neck like this. I don't even know if that's gonna work. Maybe I've watched too many movies. Or played too many video games where, you know, people have grabbed them from behind their back or whatever. But I've tried, it's kind of awkward. And you definitely can't, I don't know how they put the knife away, you know, it's kind of dangerous. But I don't know, I just want to try a behind the back draw first. And if that doesn't work, then I'll try something else. I know behind my lower back, sitting horizontally, or sitting in the front of myself horizontally works, because I like to use my other blades like that. Their ones are a little bit shorter. But these behind my back, it sticks out. It's like part of the handle sticks out, and part of the tip of the blade sticks out, because I'm not that wide, I'm not this wide. And so, like if you wear a jacket or something, it's gonna be really obvious or whatever. I sort of like to make these my bug out knives. You know, other than my house protection knives, I would like to have them also for bug out knives. Because these are pretty awesome. I love them. Let's see if this is the same sheath. It looks like it might be the same sheath. Yep. So these are the same sheaths. I sort of thought it was the same sheath because it looked like the same sheath. And it's basically the same knife, it's just made out of different materials, so that makes sense. So I'm not going to unwrap this one because this one will probably be a collector. Because I got the other two to use. Now if I was going to use it, I'd unwrap it. But I don't plan, I got two other big ones I could use. I don't really need this one. I just want to have it, just collect it. Let's set these aside. Because one of these it's not exactly perfect on the grind lines. It's this one. This one's just a little bit off. Just a little bit off. That's why I'm, you know, looking at the grind lines. When it gets right up here, goes as a little thing right here where it's a little bit off. But compared to this one's perfect. It's just a little tiny minute thing. I'm not even worried about it. It's not something I would send the knife back for or anything like that. It's not that big of a deal. You know, because if things are done by hand, they can't be exactly the same all the time anyway. You know, that just makes sense. And it looks good. It looks good. And it's totally functional. It's just a little tiny bit off. It's like they went up a little bit, just a touch. And you can't even notice it if you're just looking at it. But it's like if you look at it in a certain way, you can sort of see what I'm talking about. It's kind of really hard to tell. But you know me, I'm nitpicky about stuff like that. So I always look at grind lines and things like that. because I don't know, grind lines are important to me because it shows how much what do you call it, energy or time they put into the knife. You know, how much they cared about the quality control of it and all that kind of stuff. And I know that these are the budget versions, so you could probably always expect to have maybe something like that in the budget version. But in the high-end versions, I would always want them to be perfect. You know, for an $80 knife that's this big, it's like it's like a heavy-duty machete or a katana or something like that, or what do you call it, wakakashi? I can't say that word. Or a big tanto or something like that. This is a badass blade. And this is a blade that I would, because I could show you all my real military knives that were from like the OKCs and stuff like that, and certain knives I have that were military knives, military issue knives. They're never perfect. The grind lines are always off. And I've heard people complain about the finger guards or whatever on like the old World War II military knives. They complain about if they're loose and they say the knife is terrible. It's, it's a throwaway. But all those knives were like that. And they went to war like that. And they went through combat like that. And then they came home and became hunting knives and everything else like that. And they lasted for years and years and years. So just because the finger guard is loose on a K-bar or something like that doesn't make the knife bad. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's just, those knives were mass produced for soldiers in World War II that needed things right away. They didn't probably have a whole lot of quality control and stuff like that. They were more worried about just getting weapons and tools in soldiers' hands that needed them, that were in combat in the Pacific and over in Europe. So it's more about hurrying up and getting everybody the equipment that they need. And so they didn't get all finicky about a loose guard or something like that. A loose guard on a fixed blade doesn't mean that the fixed blade is bad. It just means that the guard is loose. It's not the end of the world. Uh-oh, here comes Juju. What you doing, sweetie? You like my big blades? You like the big blades? Juno says she already has, you got 20 karambits? You got 5 on each paw, right? 5 karambits on each paw. So you got 20 karambits. You're a karambit master, huh? That's right. Okay, sweetie, you have to come down. That's my girl. That's my sweetie. But these are beautiful blades. And I highly recommend them. If they still have these for $80, I would say get them all day long. But this one right here is it's like one of these blades taken to another level. Because they're basically the same knife. The same length, same width, everything. It's like the same grinds, everything. It's just that this one looks like they put a lot more attention to detail in it. I don't know, you can just look at it. This one's beautiful. You can tell that when they were making these, they wanted these to sell for $300 or $400. That's what I think. Knowing cold steel, they probably wanted $500 for it. At the cold steel price, I bet you the street price was meant to be $300 or $400. This is a very high quality knife. That's all I'm saying. This is one of my most beautifully made San-Mai knives. I mean, the quality. I love the way that they did the handle. That full tang, exposed tang. And the way everything's like perfectly smooth, where you don't even feel the differences going from the scales to the full tang to the other scale. It's really machined down evenly. The fit and finish on it, is off the charts. And I don't want to touch the blade. I love the way the handle scallop and contoured. It's a beautiful handle. To me, having a big blade's, cool, but the big blade's not that useful if it has a crappy handle. This is a handle. This is a really nice handle. I would like to get these scales for these because they're the exact same size scale, and these work with the sheaths. So these scales, if I had two sets of scales for these, that'd be perfect. I don't care for the FRN scales because they feel slippery in hand. The shape of them's good, but it's just that they feel slippery in hand. And on mine, both of mine, I put tennis racket tape on, grip tape. Now, not too big on the way it looks, you know what I mean? But you know what? It serves its purpose. It gives these knives an awesome grip. And for a home defense knife or, you know, a combat knife, this feels really good in hand. Well, that's about it for this one, people. I just want to put a little short one on here. Again, this is San-Mai, 12 inches. It's got the G10 scales, full tang, hollow ground blade, flat ground tip, 5mm stick, all the way through to the handle, and that never narrows out. It stays 5mm all the way. Beautiful blade. Let's see how sharp it is. I got a piece of ripped up paper here, that's okay. It's sharp. Looks like it's got a little hiccup right in the middle. Let me see something, people. Okay, let's see what we got going here now. There we go. Beautiful blade. I love this one, people. You know me, I might get another one. I don't know. I think this is really awesome. I was gonna get the Lindsey Thompson leather neck, but after owning these two, I just had to try this one out first. I still plan on getting the Lindsey Thompson leather neck for my collection, but I just had to see what this one was like. And I think it's worth $199 at Midway all day long. All day long. This is probably one of the best buys for $200 for a big fixed blade. I think it's beautiful. Now, do I think it's worth $300 or $400? I think it could be put in that category, but I probably wouldn't spend that much money on it. I love fixed blades, but I don't really like spend a whole lot of money on fixed blades because there's a whole lot of good fixed blades for in between like $100 and $200. You know, ones that are made in the United States out of 1095 or whatever, you know, come from like companies like Essie and K-Bar. So, you know, so I don't really get into like spending like a whole lot of money on a fixed blade because I know there's lots of fixed blades I like under $200 that are beautiful knives. But this one right here, this is awesome. This feels like a real combat blade in hand. The only thing I would do to make it better is that, and I don't know why they haven't done it already, is why aren't these in DLC or black coated? Because they're supposed to be Warcrafts, right? It's supposed to be combat blades. I think combat blades always should be black. You know, should have non-glare finishes. This is more like a civilian knife than it is a military knife. If I was in the military, I wouldn't want a knife like this. If I was in a unit that went out on patrols or, you know, was conducting missions or whatever, and you're out trying to be, you know, sneaky and stealth and everything like that, I wouldn't want something that's flashy and shiny. I'd want something that's all black. So I don't know why they didn't make this one all black. And also, you know, if it's going to be a Warcraft, honestly, I would make it out 3V. Just like the previous Warcraft. Why? Well, if it's going to be a combat blade, it's got, you know, you want it to be as tough as possible. If you're making this really for soldiers, I would make it as tough as possible. I'd go back to the saber grind, and I'd go with the DLC coating and 3V steel. But make it look just like this. So this is a beautiful knife. But just, just make it with 3V and DLC and change the grind on it. This grind's good for civilians. Because the reason why it's good for civilians, because with the hollow grind, with a thick blade, thick and big blade like this, you're still going to have a sharp edge. It's still going to be thin enough behind the edge where you can maintain a nice sharp edge all the time. So it's good for cutting and stuff like that. But if you're in, for a combat blade though, I think I would rather have a saber grind. And why is that? Because a saber grind just, makes the edge tougher and puts more reinforcement behind the edge. So it makes it less likely to chip out or, break or whatever. But this is awesome. This is an awesome knife. I love these Warcrafts, these new Warcrafts. I like the old Warcraft. I just missed out on getting a 12-inch one. I have the, which ones do I have? I think I have the 7.5-inch and the 5.5-inch ones for the old Warcrafts. I have the one that's made in Taiwan. I think this is 7.5-inch. That's all DLC coated. Beautiful. That's the way it should be if it's going to be a real Warcraft to me. With a flat grind and 3V steel. That's the way a Warcraft's supposed to be to me. A Warcraft should have the toughest steel that cold steel uses, which is 3V. That's the toughest steel that cold steel uses. CPM 3V. And that's what these should be. Because these are meant to be, top of the line, combat blades, I think. Modern day combat blades. That's the purpose of it, I think. I think that's what the purpose of it. I'm not sure. But, to me, this is a defense knife. It's not meant to be a hunting knife or a fishing knife or, picking fruits and vegetables. Or a kitchen knife. Or even an outdoorsman's woodcrafting knife or camp knife. No, this is a combat blade. That's what this is. This is a martial blade. This is meant for survive. For your survival purposes, self-defense purposes. It's like a short sword. That's what I think of this as. I think these 12-inch knives. I think of them as like short swords. 12 inches or longer, actually when you get to like 10 inches or longer, it starts becoming like a short sword. Because a 9-inch knife is long, but it still feels like a fixed, like a hip fixed blade. But it doesn't, but when you start going above that, it starts feeling like a short sword. This knife is beautiful. Absolutely love it, people. Absolutely love it. 13UXL Warcraft Tanto, San-Mai steel, extra large model. Warcraft Tanto. Warcraft Tanto. San-Mai steel, weight 17.6 ounces, blade length 12 inches, overall length 17 inches, blade thickness 5 millimeters, handle length 5 inches long. With grip, G10 grip. Highly recommend it, people. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. I recommend all of these. I like the German Corrupt 4035 stainless steel versions also. When they're priced the way that these were priced, when they're these were $79 a piece, $80 at Midway. I love the stonewash finish. I love the hollow grind. I love the fact that they're inexpensive and you can use them. You can really get into practicing with them and take them out in your backyard, practice on your shrubs that need to be chopped down and stuff like that. And these are awesome. I wish I had some of those mats, so that I could do some of those. What do you call them? Matami mats. I forget the name of them. Then they wet them and then they chop them in half with the katanas and stuff. I wish I had some mats like that. That'd be cool to test these out on that. Absolutely love these, people. Absolutely love these. Y'all know I love big Tantos. And I think these are awesome. I sort of like them better than last year's version, to tell you the truth. It's just I just like to see them. Excuse me. I would just like to see them DLC coated. I like to see a flat grind one too, with 3V steel. I missed out getting the 12-inch Warcraft when they were making them with 3V steel in the flat grain. I think I'd rather have one of these with the 3V steel in the flat grain. These are beautiful knives. Beautiful. Well, that's all I got for you today. Coming up this week will be the Recons. The Recon roll. Recon roll. That'll be coming up this week. Peace out, Stiletto. Have a great day.